We're partnered with Recycle San Diego, and all of our electronic waste and recycling goes to them. What they do is they process it. They take the plastics are sent to Mexico, and then the electronic pieces are sent to various electronic companies here domestically that are using the circuitry and stuff like that to make new components and that kind of thing. They're the only company that I know of here in San Diego that's certified and don't ship overseas. There was a problem with electronics going overseas, particularly to China. People are basically burning the circuitry and creating toxic fumes to get the precious or semi-precious metals out. In a lot of computers there's some gold and copper and stuff like that, so they burn all the wire and stuff off in the plastic to get that stuff out, and it's really a bad thing. So most of the guys that do what we do focus primarily on glass from restaurants. Well, we are unique in that no one does what we do here in San Diego County. No one is willing to take everything.
And most of the companies are either smaller, much smaller than us, a kind of 1 or 2 person operation, or really large. So the difference, I think, in our system is that ours is a little more customized.
How many employees do you have?
We have 6 people with us.
A lot of people have an oil service, but what most people don't realize is how much oil is left in empty oil containers, so-called empty oil containers. All this oil is coming out of containers that were deemed to be empty. And so we drain the oil, and then we give it to New Leaf Biofuel so they can turn it into biodiesel fuel. But
is this a particular oil, like a vegetable oil?
This is all vegetable oil.
Automotive?
Okay. All vegetable comes from the restaurants.
The darker is just stuff that's been cooked and that sort of thing, is residue in the bottom of containers, and the lighter stuff is just the leftover.
It's from deep fryers and things like that.
Most people don't recycle steel cans, but and actually steel is biodegradable. It'll go back into the earth eventually, particularly these tin cans. But the problem with it is that when people start to strip mine the planet for new virgin resources, we're going to have some huge environmental issues with, extinction of species and contaminating the groundwater and all that. Right. Or we could just simply recycle the tin that's already in the flow. It would be more common for us to manage everything, every single item that we put our hands on. We can't afford to be irresponsible anymore in the future. It's just, it's ridiculous to put finance above environment. Without an environment, we have no place to live. So it supersedes all of that. And I think that if the public can continue to be conscious, as they have been very conscious over the last couple of years, and companies like ours can establish themselves and provide the real service that they need, I think we can sustain this movement that's been happening. We can turn the tide, and we're doing it now. In a very short period of time, with very humble equipment and facility, we recycle well over 2 million pounds. We don't even have trucks. So the opportunity is there for us to do the right thing.
These are the plastic sorting.
Yeah, actually, what they would call Barrio Logan. It's a heavy industrial area, and there are some residential pockets here. Can organize it to a point where we can receive the public. We want to show them that trash doesn't have to be dirty, and we can have events, special events at our facility, and educate people in a very intimate way about recycling. There really is no trash. There's no such thing. Nature doesn't make trash.
Right.
And eventually we're going to have to figure out how to close the loop.
Processing facility that we're going to, that's also a private company?
Yes. IMS has been in business for about 50 years now. So they've been recycling for 50 years. Most recyclers started out as, auto dismantlers, scrap metal places. And they evolved over the years into what they are now. I guarantee you when this place first started, they weren't doing any paper at all. That was 50 years ago.
Hey, colorful blocks of recyclable crush.
So,
wow.
That's a single stream process that we talked about earlier, where it all comes in one big pile.
So this,
It goes up on that conveyor belt. We sort it all out. The number up there. Shows you the weight of the vehicle.
okay.
You dump it and then you weigh the vehicle again, and that's the tear weight.
So there's a conveyor belt up there. People are sorting.
To do with it. America typically hasn't been utilizing its own recyclables to remanufacture products here in this country. You know, they produce products, we consume those products, the waste from those products becomes new products that they manufacture. It just goes round and round and round. China also doesn't have a lot of forests, so they don't have a lot of trees. So they have a need to import paper from us.